Hey guys, welcome to After Hours. The bar may be closed, but will always stay open for you. And today I would like to discuss a particular topic that is not super well known in the Haitian Revolution, but I think carries a lot of importance. And that is the death of a man named Vincent Auger. Now, to give you a little bit of context here, this was around the time that the free blacks and the whites were fighting each other on equality. The free blacks were trying to gain equality in the eyes of the government of France, that they were property owners and therefore they should be recognized as equal in all forms of the law. And one particular man, Vincent Auger, was going to be perhaps the loudest proponent of this. As the petite whites, or the petite blancs, the little whites is the correct term, they were fighting for their own social standing, since they didn't have the power and the influence of the big whites, or the grand blancs, who had all the political clout and money. The small whites knew that the only way that they could keep their social standing was in order to essentially put down the free blacks. If the free blacks would rise to equality, they would surpass them in the social structure. And this led to a lot of racism, unfortunately, to which the Grand Blancs were receptive to. And the Petite Blancs were pushing forward perhaps most violently. In response to this, the free blacks realized that the only way that they were going to actually get their message through is that they may have to get physical. And Vincent Auger wasn't afraid of doing so. He gathered other free blacks around him and they made a violent move towards some of the towns in order for them to gain their freedom and their equality. They were beaten, unfortunately, as they were pressed down by the white authorities of the towns, and Vincent Auger, in retreating, was eventually captured, and then he was broken on the wheel and decapitated. The brutality of his execution, his assassination in the eyes of the free blacks, was a message that the only way you were going to be able to find your freedom wasn't going to be through discourse. They had already tried that. It wasn't even necessarily going to be through small skirmishes that would incite some fear into them, that would maybe come to a compromise. They had just tried that with Auger. No, this was going to be a full revolt in order for them to be able to finally get their message across, that we are equal and we are willing to fight for it. And it's incredible to see that Vincent Auger's death had such an impact on the free black community, because as they continued to fight for their rights, the slaves were watching all the while. And with the death of Auger inciting the violence in the free blacks, the slaves realized it's time for us to fight for our rights as well. And that led to pretty much the destruction of everything in terms of the French society on the colony of Saint-Domingue, which eventually turned into Haiti in 1791. As the war continued to blaze on, things got more complicated. A lot of things were burned down. There was a tremendous amount of battle and a lot of factions going at it, but it was all really kickstarted in a fiery way to the death of Vincent Auger, at least on the black community, both the free blacks and the slaves. And it is an incredible story to read about, and hopefully one that you guys find interesting as well.